Alright, let's go back to our MERN revision, and this time we have already created a part of our room booking component, which still a part of the front end because we have pretty much complete only the use states, functions, use state dynamically. It's also showing the summary, and some computations are also showing as well, particularly in this particular component, right? So you can see the suites, it's the deluxe, and that will depend on the room type, right? So it changed also. So this time, since we skipped the issues, so we're going to be working at the back end. So particularly uh, on the server side, okay? We'll skip this part. We're sending an issues, and we'll be back to this one after we could perform in the server side script, which is the index.js. We're going to be creating an express route to handle the request from our component, which is the room booking, which is our user interface. And this express route must retrieve the booking information from the request body and save it into our database, which is our MongoDB collection. And the endpoint of this route or express route will gonna be book or slash book room camel case, right? So we're going to use this for perhaps we can test our model as well. You can check it out from the workable file that we have downloaded from our Moodle, and the name of the booking model is also appearing on our server folder, which is the booking.js, right inside the model folder. So let's begin. Let's I'm still running on my front end, so I can switch now my terminal probably by going to server or cd server. Perhaps if I will execute this one as npm start, you might be noticing that it won't be uh, executing yet. But perhaps if the dependency from the node module is not complete, perhaps we are also required to install the express, the mongoose, and the course, which you will find it from our server. It's already been imported, but perhaps if it's not yet import, we have to also work on this one. So most likely the express is already there, but otherwise you can still perform that, like npm install express. Let's say for the mongoose, npm install mongoose, npm install course. Or sometimes maybe we are also requiring to install the nodemon. But when it comes to nodemon, okay, let me just probably show you one of these. Install course or install mongoose. Okay, right, this is gonna be for our MongoDB dependencies. So going back to from the nodemon, it's basically we could execute straight from the node index.js, but perhaps when it comes to the package.json. By the way, um, if we are writing an empty server, we can also execute an npm init initialization, so that all of these attributes names will going to be declared, so that the JSON package will going to be created. So anyhow, when you downloaded this one as a workable file, it's already here. But only notice that the npm start will not be working properly without executing, without modifying your package.json into a parameter, which is we will going to use a nodemon, right, on the start. and this will going to be colon okay, nodemon index.js. Okay, this is our file, and I will going to save this. So perhaps if all dependencies are working properly, I can now try to work on this one, npm start on my terminal, and okay, nodemon is not recognized at the moment, so which means we might be needing to install a nodemon, so we can perform that one. Let's say npm install nodemon. Actually, nodemon comes with the course, right? Okay, so hopefully this works now. And oops, nodemon, no wait, spelling nod with the e, nod, node, right? Okay, so while we are installing the dependencies, this is just an optional in case it's not working straight from your start nodemon script. Okay, so npm start, and there you go. So I think listening to port 3001, so which means our index now is successfully created, running. You can see that there are some comments over here, that means we're going to establish the practice database connection string. We'll take it from our MongoDB, and we will create at least the post express route, so that we could store or save the booking details in our MongoDB. And perhaps later, by retrieving the search room, or get displaying all the booking information there, we can also use that particular express get route. So perhaps on this video we will just perform this one, right? So now we're listening now to port 3003, and perhaps we are now successfully executing our express, definitely, because we have also installed the dependency of express, similarly with the course, and it uses some express JSON, and of course we use a listening to 3003. All right, so as long as the port number of your front end is not clashing to your back end, okay, which is this is 3003. All right, so now let's begin on establishing the string connection of our MongoDB. And if you will see here on the first part, which you have seen it on the first video, we are now establishing this connection, and we will going to copy the script from your MongoDB Atlas, right? So perhaps, okay, we will going to test this if your string connectivity is working. Actually, you can copy this, the whole thing, just change later. We will just change the string later, right? We'll go back here, and this will gonna be the string connection over here. And okay, so probably this string connection will be later be modified. Okay, and there you go. So assuming that you have performed, or more or less you have you knew already your MongoDB setup, which is given on the first part of our video. So I can just demonstrate my connection. Okay, so establishing the driver, Node.js, and perhaps I will just copy this, and then I will going to import that one on my string, which is my const string here. Right, so let me just write my password here. So of course this one is I think I make it admin, and 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Make it sure that you are also allowing your IP address to connect. So it seems that I don't have any problem. So it looks like I'm successfully, literally connected to my MongoDB. So assuming that I don't have any problem, which means we're now about to start working on the Express post booking details, so that we could work on our saving or application post method on our route. Our going to be route will be, as per mentioned here, we're going to use the Express route book room, and that will be later be based on the model name, which is the booking model, which is the booking.js. So let's visit this one first. On the server folder, you can see a models folder. Perhaps there are a couple of models there, but we need only the booking.js. So this is now been provided on our workable files. So which means there's already a booking schema, that the Mongoose dependency schema is working fine now on this component, with the guest ID, the room number, the room type, no number of days, daily rate, and total bill. This is what we have also used similarly on our front end. And the booking model will going to be the variable that will going to execute in our model bookings and booking scheme. And we need to export that so that we could use it some other components, right? So now let's begin now writing on our Express. Oops, I think I'm seeing a crash here, stating that the file's been changed. Probably I need to just terminate this one and execute it once again. So if not, just check your MongoDB and make it sure the network access given IP address is also mentioned, right? And you have a correct username and database access and password as well. Okay, I think I have done it correctly, right? So we'll be back on that one. So let's now start on this. So for me to maintain this, probably I'll just put this one here and delete this spot. So this is a good way of labeling, of course, our program. Okay, I will start with app here, using now a post method, and we're going to be using an arrow function, which will gonna be perhaps with an open and closing curly brackets, and probably I will close this one basically, because I will going to use another response there, and this will gonna be an empty one though, right? So really I have some application crash at the moment. Admin 1 2 3 4. Let's, you can see it from our database access here. Yeah, I have an admin there, network access, right? I can delete this one and probably add the current IP, and while waiting for that, we'll see if that works fine. Okay, so this will gonna be our empty express, right? And we will going to start working with our express route, which is, we'll just make it a double quote over here, and that would be slash book room, camel case. Okay, now this will be later be now let's straight away using asynchronous now, because we'll be using now the server side with the requests and response. Oops. Okay, and probably we will have some constant value here now. Let's define. Okay, let's define now our booking. Okay, by the way, I almost forgot to show you. I know I have already showed actually the booking, which is booking model. So this will be our schema on our index. So we'll make a constant booking will going to be equals to our schema, and probably I'm going to have a list of body here will be parenthesis, right, and then open and curly brackets. Right, so let's save this one. Okay, so we have some crash over there, but we will going to fix that one later on. Wow, okay, my spelling of asynchronous is awful, right? There you go. Right, so I should not be getting any error here. Now it's an open constructor of our post. And to review our model, okay, this will gonna be our variable guest ID, room no, room type, room no of days, daily rate, and total bills. So we will return this body since we have included a part of the JSON. Use the JSON express.json. So we'll having this facility on our booking model. Okay, so perhaps I can now start booking, starting with the guest ID. Oops, ID colon. Maybe we'll have a request that body. Okay, request that body dot guest ID. It's already mentioned there. Okay, so this will be room no. Okay, now this will be a request also. Okay, body on your room. Okay, no. Okay, and what else? So we have room camel case, camel type variables. Okay, will be also a request that body dot room type. I think room type. Yeah, room type, comma, no, I think no of days. Okay, request. Okay, body, this would be no of days. Okay, it's there. It's a good sign. Seeing that variable. Next is daily rate. Will be a request. Oops. Okay, body that okay, daily. Okay, it's there also. And I think this would be the last one, total bill. And request that body. Oops. Body. And this would be total bill. Okay, so this will be the last one. Perhaps we'll await that one over here. The portion of this one will be await for synchronization of our booking, right? The and we'll save that one immediately, or if we don't have any issue on this, right? So method of save, and we'll remember we have a response that we'll be sending later on to our front end, and we'll just make this one as record. Okay, success fully added. Right, so I'll just make a semicolon here and save it. Alright, so hopefully this route we're gonna be working. We can also use our, we can also test to work with our Thunder client, but of course we need to mention also the model here. But we can go straight from our issues on the front end. So hopefully I'm holding this one, otherwise we're gonna be checking the establishment, our string, why it's not connecting properly from our MongoDB. Alright, now this time um, I'm going to post this video, and let me just complete the front end of using Asius. Alright.